everyone, welcome to the tutorial on the C programming language. This is our 11th lecture in which we will discuss about the overview to the C programming language. So after this tutorial we will in detail discuss about the C concept and how we can write a program, what are the variables, data types, operators, branching, looping, all the concept of the C. But before starting with the actual C, we should know about the basic history of the C. So outline of this lecture is, first we will discuss about the overview of the C language, why the C was developed, then we will see the brief timeline of the C development, and at the end we will see some important feature of the C programming language. So let's start with the overview to the C programming language. So C is a general purpose high level language that was developed by Dennis Ritchie to develop a Unix operating system at a Bell laboratory. So C was developed particularly to design a Unix operating system by Dennis Ritchie in 1972. In 1978, Brian Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie produced the first publicly available description of the C, that is known as the KR standard. So Unix operating system, C compiler, and essentially all the Unix applications program have been written in a C programming language. C was invented to write an operating system Unix. So Unix operating system is totally written with the C programming language. Today the C is the most widely used and popular system programming language. Most of the state-of-the-art software have been implemented using a C language like RDBMS SQL. Today's most popular Linux OS and RDBMS MySQL have been developed using a C programming language. So next we will discuss the brief timeline of the C development. In 1960, the language ALGOL, algorithmic language, was developed by an international group. In 1967, there is another language that is known as the BCPL that was developed by a Martin Richard. In 1970, B was derived from the BCPL language by a Ken Thompson. And in 1972, from the BCPL and B, Dennis Ritchie developed the language traditional C. In 1978, Kernighan and Ritchie combinedly developed the language that is known as the KNRC. And in 1989, ANSI gave a standard to a C language, and that is known as the ANSI C, and that is accepted by ISO committee in 1990, and that is known as the C99, that is by a standardization company in 1999. So this is a brief timeline of the C programming language. Now we will discuss each of these language in a detail. So we will discuss all these language one by one and some features of that language. So we will start with the first language, ALGOL, that is known as the algorithmic language. That is the root of the all modern programming language that will introduced in 1960s. First computer language that is used the block structure. That is not popular in USA, but it was widely used in Europe countries. ALGOL gives the concept of the structured programming to a computer science community. So concept of the structured programming is introduced by this programming language. Next one is a BCPL, that is the basic combined programming language. In 1960-17, Martin Richard developed a language called a BCPL, preliminary for writing a system software. So next will be a B, that is known as the simply B. In 1917, Ken Thompson created a language using a many feature of the BCPL, and that is known as the simply B. So B was used to create an earlier version of the Unix operating system at the Bell laboratory. So both BCPL and B were a typeless system programming language. That means within this language there is not a concept of the data type. Now C, that is developed by Dennis Ritchie. So C was evolved from the evolved BCPL and B by Dennis Ritchie at the Bell laboratory in 1972. So C used the many concepts of this programming language, plus it added the concept of the data type and other powerful features like a dynamic memory allocation that we will discuss later on. So next, traditional C. In 1917, the C has evolved, that is known as the traditional C. C became a more popular after a publication of the book The C Programming Language by Brian Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie in 1978. So this is also known as the KNRC among the programming community. ANSI is one organization committee that is American National Standard Institute. To assure that the C language remained a standard in 1983, ANSI appointed a technical committee to define a specific standard of the C. The committee approved the version of the C in December 1989, and that is known as the ANSI C. International Standard Organization is one organization that approved ANSI C in 1990, and that is known as the C99. So C99 is a standard of a C, but nowadays most of the compiler will not support all the features of the C99. So these are the brief timeline of the C programming language. Now we will see some important feature of the C programming language. Here I have given the list of the feature of the C programming language. We will take one by one in a detail. So C is the robust language. That means C will support a rich set of the built-in functions and operators. Using these operators and function, you can write any complex program. So C compiler combine the capability of the assembly language as well as feature of the high-level language. So it is known as the robust programming language. So next feature is the efficient and fast. The program written in a C are most efficient and fast. So due to the variety of data types and various powerful operators that we will discuss in the next lecture. So C is a many times faster compared to a previous language that is a basic. Next feature is the highly portable. C is a highly portable. That means program once were written can be run on other machine with a little or no modification. That means your program is not dependent on a platform. Next feature is the structured language. It's required the user to think of a problem in terms of the functions, modular and block. That means divide your problem into a number of the sub problems. So proper collection of these modules make a complete program. So modular structure make a programmer debugging, testing and maintenance easier compared to a sequence of the instructions program. Next feature is the extendability. The another important feature of the C programming language. So as we know that C program is basically a collection of the functions that are supported by a C library. So how you can extend, you can write your own function and add this function into a C library. That means you can extend a C programs library. So within this lecture we had discussed about the history of the C programming and some important feature of the C program. Thank you.